what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to click and I'm going to create a new site. All right, and I'm going to jump in here with, let's pull one of these templates here. I'm just going to grab this one here. I'm just going to click and select this e-commerce template. Now, remember, I said we're going to have 3 different versions of different things for you. We're going to have something called a landing page, or an entire brand website, which has your About Us page, social media, contact us, and all those different things. And then you're going to have funnels, and you're going to be able to organize all of those different things. In fact, let me just log into Zeppelin here and show you how we're going to be doing those funnels, right? So what you're seeing right now is you have, we chose our templates, right? So then you also have what we call blocks, right? So those are things where if you would want to just drag something in, for instance, like this, you just drag it in, which ClickFunnels doesn't have, okay? So I'm going to delete that. We don't need that. But so a block in the terms of the hierarchy is within the page. We have the ability, if you want a pre-designed, a footer, well, you can put a different footer. These were the wireframes that I was talking about. You go over to, footers, alphabetical here, F. We have all of these different footers. If I want this really beefy one over here, right, I would just drag it over like this down at the bottom, and I would get rid of this particular one like that. And I would now maybe give it, a color like, let's say I wanted the background. Remember I told you before the export mode, we have all these different things. Let's give it like a blue background, like a dark blue. I'm not going to go too nuts here, but you get the point. I can go here and I can change the text to white, etc. So it looks different. So these are things that with ClickFunnels, if you like template A, but there's something you like in template B, you can't mix and match. We take everything that when we create a site, we also make blocks out of all of those different things, so that if you want to use any of them later to just drag in, you say, hey, I need a checkout section here, or I need a pricing table, right? Like, what's a pricing table, right? Well, a pricing table is something like one of these things. I might want to put a pricing table right there, just like that. Well, there's my pricing table. You follow what I'm saying? If you want to maybe add like a testimonial block, you would go over to testimonials and just drag over, we call this like a hero testimonial here, right above the pricing, and then below it, I want my, my 3 different people. We're gonna, just pop that right underneath, right? And any of these sections, everything has a drag handle. You can move things up and down, on top of different sections and so on and so forth. Okay, so we just swapped out everything. Like the buttons has a drag handle, text, every little thing. I'm not gonna talk too much about it. There's nothing revolutionary about drag and drop. But if we did want to move the button above this little text here, we have what's known as a shadow image, so that exactly where everything is dropping. Okay, but let's move on to what we were talking about before. I was going to show you how this side panel is going to say templates, because right now we have it in the pages. You grab a template here, but we'll talk about that just a minute. We've already explained that we have blocks. What blocks are. Elements are things that go inside of blocks. So I may want to drag things like a button, a YouTube video, right? Let's see, let's put a YouTube video right here. I would just drag it and put it right here, so to speak, right? So these are elements. We have things that every page builder in the world out there wishes they had, that I'll demo a little bit later, like accordions and sliders and all these different things. Yes, you can integrate with the different things out there, like MailChimp and ActiveCampaign. Any custom embed you want to do, you can drop. You want to add a progress bar somewhere, you simply just put your progress bar over here. Everything has something that you can just go and click configure, and I want this progress bar to be at 25%. So I put my text here at 25, and I put the percentage at 25, and just like that, you're at 25%. That's helping people walk through checkouts. There's so many of these things. I really don't have the time for it today, but I'm going to do my best to show you as much as we can. What I wanted to show you here, this is where our UI UX designer goes in and builds things. So let's take a look at like how they some of the different templates, for example, that we have here. We have a template that might just be like for a SaaS company. So this is going to be in there. I'm showing you what's working on like right now. So this is something that he designs, and then we basically import it into GroovePages. So we're going to have gorgeous pages that look like that. But what if we want to have a brand website? Well, remember I said there's your funnel should look one way, but your brand, your .com should look a little bit different. Well, we're going to have things that will be for lawyers, real estate agents, local marketers, plumbers. Mike, I know this excites you for the agency model for local businesses. There's so much stuff I could go on for 10 minutes. I'm not going to. Let's talk about a designer that knows how to design things for conversion. Isn't this gorgeous? Don't you want to click in here and start working on the text and dragging and dropping, right? So this is an example of a template. We'll look at one more. This might be like your one pager, your about you, like who is Mike Filsame? And I'll show you how you change the color pictures in here like this. If these templates look pretty cool to you, Jennifer says beautiful. Put a 1 in the chat that you like the direction that we're going, that we're going to give you conversion type pages, one pages, funnels, websites, everything. In fact, that's the hardest thing, right?
Crisp and modern, Mike. They look crisp and modern. It's very nice.
Thank you. Yeah, I think you can tell a ClickFunnels page. They got these big fat buttons. In fact, I want to show you guys something. Mike said something. Now, Mike, can I be 100% honest here? Would that be okay with my feelings on this page? This page, Mike happens to love. And I created this page because Mike told me to create this. Mike told me that, Mike, this is my funnel. Can you create this in GroovePages? So I had to go outside of our funnels because Mike said, I want it to look like this. Does this look a little familiar, right? You have 3 people here. You have 3 people here. Underneath that, you have, call to action. This is ClickFunnels, right? This is Mike's logo over here. I said, you know what? I'm going to make that logo a little bit smaller. And this text over here, I'm going to make a button. Mike really likes this headline like this. I said, okay, if he likes it like that, I'm going to snazz it up a little bit, right? So I don't, and Mike, please, I'm just trying to make a point here to people. I don't want you to necessarily think that this page is a template in GroovePages, like it or not. What I want you to know is that Mike said, this is what I created in ClickFunnels. Can you make it for me in GroovePages? And I said, okay, I actually have webinar templates, but if you want me to use yours, I'm going to do it. And put a 1 in the chat if you like the one that came out on GroovePages better than the one that was designed in ClickFunnels. Let's see what you guys are saying. Barbara, 1. Yeah, okay. 1 from Apple, Barbara, and okay. So my point is, this is not one of our templates. What I did is I dragged blocks over. I literally went in and I dragged the testimonial block like this, and I went in and I changed the background color to dark blue like this. I changed the text. I'm not going to do it on all. I think you get the point. I just have to do it multiple times, right? Whatever, I'm doing it now. So let's just, make them white. You get it, right? So, and then what was the next thing that I did? I had to upload the photos. All right. So I click on a photo and I click on configure and I choose an image and I grab an image from my library or upload one and I click update, and just like that. Okay, you see how easy this is? If ClickFunnels didn't have the testimonial block for you, there's nothing you could do. You'd have to make it yourself. Ours has that. But moving on to what I was showing you over here before, what we're going to be doing when it comes to, oh, this is new. Some of these are new, but we don't have time to, for me to gaga over some of these different things. Let me look at, I believe it would be this. This is our UI expert designing. This is him like designing all those different blocks. I went into the wrong one. So I think it's the UI guide. So remember I told you we spent $200,000 developing this software? We didn't just grab a WordPress or a theme forest theme. This is him saying, this is what the blocks look like when they're collapsed. This was before the software was built. This over here was how this template stuff. This right here is a software where a designer goes in and designs the layout. This is absolutely gorgeous. We didn't go in and just say, let's get a theme for $49 from Theme Forest and make it look like a user admin. We actually have somebody that developed for Uber, for the app back in the day, not the current one. And he's a UI expert. We found him from Silicon Valley. So moving on, going on to how the funnels are going to look. This stuff is being done right now. So you're going to, let's see, click here, and you can see this is going to say elements, blocks. This is going to say change it from from pages to brand websites. Over here, you're going to have something called funnels, okay? And this tells you that you have a funnel called free mini course, Facebook offering, or whatever, right? And then when you click on one of these things to expand, you will then see every page in your funnel, and then you could click the dots and see how they are converting. Talk about intuitive. You want to add a new page to your funnel, you click plus, and unlike ClickFunnels, our funnels are going to be themed. What ClickFunnels does is it says, oh, you want to create a product launch funnel? Well, you need video 1, and then it shows you every template. You need video 2, you need a VSL page, you need a thank you page, and it shows you every template. And those templates were not necessarily designed to work with each other. They don't have a theme. They don't have a motif, as it's known in the car industry and many other industries. You want a funnel for webinars or for a book funnel? Well, every single page is going to be designed that when they land on the upsell page, the thank you page, they're all going to look the same. So moving on here, you want to add a new funnel. It's going to tell you, okay, here's a VSL funnel, a webinar funnel, a contact us, et cetera, et cetera. And this particular one has 3 pages. This has 4 pages. If you click on this icon that says expand pages, it's going to do something like this and show you every single page that's in the funnel. Now, this is a mock-up, and these pages actually don't look like they belong together, but I want you to know that the landing page, the VSL, and the thank you, when they're actually grouped, will all be together. So this is going to be probably live in about 2 to 3 weeks, the funnel portion. But right now, let me get rid of some of these ugly little demos that I was doing here just for now, just so that we have the actual template that I loaded. And I want to show you something here. Let's build out our brand website, okay? So remember, we're going to have something here that says funnels, and this is going to be called brand website. And the way that it's going to work is, unlike ClickFunnels, you're just going to come in, and this entire thing here is going to be called a project. And if you were to publish this to www.mikefilsame.com, once you would never go and create another project site with mikefilsame.com. If you click publish, it's going to overwrite anything else. In fact, it'll tell you, warning, you're already using mikefilsame.com. Using this will overwrite everything. So the way that we do it is we say, well, there's only 3 things that you can really have at your site. One is your brand website where people see the navigation. Number 2 are your funnels, and number 3 is your blog. And I didn't even tell you that we're going to have a built-in blogging platform on this, so that you don't even have to use WordPress anymore. You'll be able to choose one of our themes, go in, make a post, hit save. Like, it's just as easy as writing an email. You'll have a headline, and you'll use our page builder to drag an element or an image, and we're going to have a full blogging platform. That's going to be coming in the fall, maybe even in Christmas. We're working on getting the page builder, nearly perfect. And as I said, we're out of beta now. So let's add some pages to this website. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to add a navigation onto this page. Now, I can do it a couple of different ways. I can add a navigation bar. So let's do that. I'm going to add one that already has navigation, but I need to delete this one now. But just to show you, if I wanted to add a navigation anywhere, I would go into my elements. If I have an existing block, and I just find, and all this stuff is going to be collapsed as well, because we're adding too many of these, so they're going to work more like this. It'll say countdown timers, and you'll expand, and that's about a week away. So I'm looking for navigation. So let's see here, custom embed. Here it is, navigation. So I would just drag the navigation like right into this section here, just like that, and now I have a navigation section. But I decided to grab a block that already had one. So let's delete this little one that I did here. And you notice there's no navigation because I don't have any pages. So check this out. Let's talk about some pages that we need. Well, we need to have, I'm just going to choose different things here, even though it's an upsell, whatever. I'm just dragging templates. Let's call this one our About Us page. whoops, I don't need to do that. I just call it About Us. I hit check. And let's add another page here. We'll call this the Contact Us page, and this is gonna be how we tell people to contact us. And let's add another page. We'll call this Support. Just choose this one, and we'll rename that Support. And we're gonna add three more pages, just so you can see. Okay, and you're noticing our pages are now adding, this is actually here, not, this is an external link, but so we have the e-commerce is our home. If I wanted to configure this, I would go to my menu. Bear with me a second, let me just see here. External links, pages, that's the name of my home page. I'll get to that in just a minute. Let's add some more pages. Let's add a social media page. And let's just say this particular one here was my social media. Let's rename that social media. Okay, and the URLs are page 2, page 3. If I want to actually change that URL to say About Us, then I go into the edit portion here and I say that I actually want this page to be called About Us, just like that. Not very easy in ClickFunnels. This is where we add our page title for SEO, custom CSS, Google tracking, OG stuff. We're not going to get into that, but it's everything that you'd want in a page, exactly where you'd want it. So now we're going to add one final thing, two final things. We're going to add our upsell page. All right, let's actually use an upsell template here. Let's use this upsell. And we're going to call this an upsell. Okay, and let's create a thank you page for, maybe after they opt in or whatever the case may be. So let's see if we have something called a thank you. Here's an opt-in. I could have used that before. Let's just grab this thank you page right here. We'll click select, and then we're done with this part here. But I'm doing this for a reason, because if we go up here, we have a little bit of a problem now. By creating all these pages, I might want this home page not to say ecom. Bear with me a second. I'm going to change this to home. Okay, so as you see, I actually have my upsell and my thank you page here. Well, I don't want them showing, navigating. So see, I have something called hidden pages. Well, I'm just going to drag those. I'm going to hide that out of the navigation. Notice it disappeared. Watch the thank you page disappear as well. Just like that. It's no longer there. And the other thing is, I don't want my social media page here. That's really under the About Us. So I'm going to drag the social media page under the About Us, and watch on the screen on the navigation when I release. Watch the drop down show up. Just like that, it created a drop down for us. In fact, I don't even like the About Us being second. I want Contact Us going first. So I can switch the navigation just like this. In fact, I even made a mistake. The support is external. I don't want to build a page for that. So I'm going to delete this, but how do I add the support to my page? Well, I simply go to this menu here, and you see I can style it, change the fonts, and I click configure. And over here, I might want to have an external link. How many do I want? I just need one, and I want to call that support. But that actually goes to my third-party help desk over here called support.grooveapp. So I'm going to now take that URL. I can now link it to one of the other pages in the site, a block, a pop-up, but I want a third-party URL. So I'm just going to go like this, and I want that to open in a new tab. I click update, and just like that, I've got a third-party link. Now, here's the only thing is, on my upsell page over here, if I had let's do it on the thank you page. On my thank you page, I might want to have a navigation bar. So what do? I go to my blocks and I get a navigation bar and I pop it over just like this, right? And of course, folks, if I want to change my logo, I go to the configure portion and I choose an image and I grab my GroovePages logo and Groove Digital, and I just go like that, right? It's very easy. It's easy as you can imagine. Now, the only thing is, I may not want this on my thank you page. So what I do on this particular page is I click on the menu and I want to exclude a page. and I can click the pages that I want to exclude. So let's exclude the About Us page and the Contact Us page, and I click Update, and now the only thing that shows on here is Home. And again, if I wanted to add an external link for support, I think you get the picture. I just go like that. So the point that I'm making here for you folks is that this is something that allows you to create a brand website very, very easily. Let's talk about the page builder. Number one, what can we do with fonts? Well, I can double click here, make it nice and easy, or I can go here and I can click edit the styles over here. This is out of the expert mode, and it just gives you the basic stuff. I want to change the font. I want to change the size, like this, nice. You can actually see it working. I just want to change the font color to red. This will be horrible looking, right? Just like that. But I can hit undo on anything that I don't want. Okay. Furthermore, you have all the things that you would expect from like Microsoft Word, right? You want to change a strike through in the pricing, you've got that. I'm not going to go nuts here, folks. This is nothing revolutionary, but I want you to know, yes, you can do everything that you want. But take a look at the stuff that you can do here. We have text. You can do everything: letter spacing, line height, font weights, different colors, drag and drop the size, easy to see. You want to change the background of any column or anything like that. Let's actually do that. Let me show you this background. I'm going to use a wireframe to demonstrate this. Let's choose a cover, and I'm going to just drag this in right here. Okay. Now I can change this background a couple of different ways. And notice over here, folks, this is something designers will like, but we actually give you what's known as a dome tree, so you can move all the way up. So let's choose something a little more complex. Sometimes you ever notice, type a 1 in the chat, if you're ever hovering in ClickFunnels and you're getting something that's happening like this, and you're fighting over these different things and you're seeing yellow, red, and then you click and it's like, it grabbed the text and not the button. So people are putting 1s in the chat there, right? So what we do is when you click and you isolate something like this, the hover no longer will work. Okay, that means you've isolated. If you close here, now you're in hover mode, and we only have it show after you're on there for about a half a second so that it's not constantly lighting up. But if you accidentally click on the wrong one, we have this little up arrow, and it shows you in gray what is the parent frame to this. And you click the up arrow, and now you're in this element. And here, if you move the up arrow, you can go up, or I can just click here. And so I can move all the way up through what's known as the dome tree and work my way all the way to the top block if I'm having problems isolating something, or I can just click on something and just get it. But sometimes you want to know exactly where you are. You can either click here and go to the block, but I know to go to the block, I just click out of everything and I go here. Sometimes you click and you actually select an inner block. So I think you get my point. So now, if I want to change the background color of this, well, I simply do that by changing the background color like this, right? And of course, I can change the font color. But let's go back and get rid of that. And let's add an image. So Mike, give me something cool, a topic: Ferraris, bikes, Vegas, housing, something. Chime in here and give me something cool for an image to actually add.
Yeah, I was just at the Rolls-Royce dealership, so I love your idea. I was taking a picture of a pretty Ferrari, and I know you're a car guy, so let's do that.
All right. Ferrari, Ferrari. I'm going to hit enter. And look at that. We get all these different Ferraris. So I'm going to choose this particular one right here. I think that's pretty badass. So all these images are royalty free. 5 years ago, folks, this would be, incredible for me to show you that you've got royalty free images. I think you come, to expect that. So I simply say, okay, that's cool. I select, and just like that, I now have, I now have this Ferrari as my cover image. The only thing is my text, I can maybe make this white, but it's really hard to see that, right? So what do we do? How do I fix this here? Well, what I can do now is I can instead go to the image, the background here that we just had, Actually, that's the blocks background. And it tells me a little dot here, the green dot saying, hey, you've made a change to the default style. There's something changed here. And I go to the color and I can add an overlay. Let's do something like red because that's the Ferrari theme here. And I'll just choose one of these reds here. And I've now either got an image or I've got a background color. Which is it? Well, we have this little transparency thing that I can do here. And now I can see what I can do here. I can put some opacity. I can go full image or full color. So I can make a little bit of a background like this that makes it a little easy to read. Personally, I think if we change the background color to a blue, it might actually be better. And I could do something like that. Mike, doesn't that look gorgeous? Like that. So let me try to talk about what else we've got here, right? I can drag in, we can add.
Mike, we're getting such great feedback from people on this. This is great.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to move on here. We've got things like if I can do what we call spacing. All the like for instance, let's say I want this a little bit closer. Could we make this any easier than adding padding like that? Let's go to a page that actually has a button here. I want to show you something cool. Let's go to our main page. Here's a button. Now check this out. Mike, you tell me, Mike, I want the Belcher button. I say, what the hell is a Belcher button? You say, what? You don't know? That's one of the highest converting buttons of all time. It's a square button that's yellow and has black text. And I say, okay, well, we go to the text and we make it black. Okay, cool. Now we go to the button color and we make it yellow, and we'll choose a yellow. And if you want any particular color, guys, I click right here and I've got the billion color slider and I can paste in any code, of course, right? But if I want to use a standard color, or what's known as a web color, I do that. And Mike, you told me that the font should be maybe a little bit bold right in the button. Okay, well, I dropped the wrong one. Let's make it a little bit thicker. You like that? And you don't like that it's round. All right, well, that's the borders, right? I can take the borders here and we can go fully round, or we can do the Steve Jobs, right? Remember, he used to say he didn't like fully square corners. That's why all the iPhone apps are slightly rounded. Or you might want it fully square, right? Let's put a little round corner on it. Okay, now we've got our Belcher button. And now I've got to go design this one. Who the hell wants to do that, right? I could clone this button and drag it over, or what I can do, folks, check this out. I go to a global style here, and I'm going to create a new style. And I'm going to call this the Belcher button. I'm going to click a check mark, and we're done. And I now go to this button over here, and I click on it. And instead of restyling that, I just drop down and I go Belcher button. And just like that, it just did the entire button for me. And now I could do that for anything, a testimonial that has a certain drop shadow or something. Do you like that feature? Is that pretty cool? So we have sizing, right? That's where, where you want, the size of, this particular column. We're not going to get into all that, but it's basically everything. And remember, I'm in expert mode. And if your designer wants to go into a particular element and drop custom CSS in, he pastes the CSS, gives it a name, and anything from CSS can be done here. So what can you do with a button? Well, you can put the text here, and then you could say it goes to a page, it goes to another block, like rolls down, it goes to URL, it goes to a pop-up. So let's create a pop-up real quick. I create a pop-up. What kind of pop-up do I want? I want an exit pop-up, right? So there's a standard pop-up, an entry pop-up, or an exit pop-up. I'm actually going to call it a button pop-up here for main block. I'm just giving it a name, right? Okay. So what page? I want it on the home page or all pages, or I can select pages. You take one of our designs. Let's just grab this one. I'm going to click on it. I can now go in and change the backgrounds. Obviously, we'll have pre-made ones for you. If I want to work on the countdown timer here, I can say that it's a daily, or it counts down for 10 minutes, from 10 minutes to 0, or it resets every day, or I need it to go, when is our launch starting? It starts on March 18th, 19th at let's say midnight or whatever, right? And we click OK. Very gorgeous, easy to use. I click update. I get a real-time countdown timer that's going to start right here. Or we could drag in one of the pre-styled ones, but you get it. And I'm going to click save and exit. I'm now going to link this button right here by clicking configure to what? To my pop-up. Which pop-up? The one that I named button for main block. I hit save. We're done up here. I want to show you something over here. I'm going to click on revisions and look at this. It's been saving my work for me every 5 minutes for me. Isn't that fantastic? But I can save it or I can publish it. And what's good is I can save it and it doesn't go live. I might be testing something, but I don't want the world to see it while I'm working. Can't do that with ClickFunnels. Check this out.
Mike, we had an instance right before we launched Alex Engine where the sales letter, the entire sales letter literally got erased. In ClickFunnels, they only allow 5 revisions. And like just in our panic to figure out where the sales letter went, we deleted all the other revisions. And if I hadn't had a copy of the sales letter pulled up in cache on my computer, we would have been completely screwed. This is hours before our launch. And
yeah, well,
this is real world stuff that comes up.
Yeah, so Mike, there's a couple of other things. Number one, we let you export the site, which I don't know if others do, but we certainly do. That if you're like, hey, I just want to host this on my own website in case you guys are never around again, or whatever the case is. As we said, we have the revisions. You could preview them and then click use this version if you're happy with that. But let's actually preview this website. Okay, so I'm going to generate the preview, and I'm going to click order now, and we shall get that pop up. There you go, just like that. I mean, nothing revolutionary. I mean, we get all that. Couple of other things I want to talk about here. We give you the code of any single block that you click on. So if you want to go into the code, I don't recommend it. We even say, hey, this could change your site. But there are some of you guys that are design geeks. I think you get it. You're happy. If you want to see the entire site code, nobody else lets you do this. And guys, you can see this is not a framework. This is what we're publishing to the web. So when you actually load an actual web page like OMG Funnels, this page, see how fast that loaded? Why did it take a little time to load? Because this is YouTube. These are called external pages. But if I refresh to here, it loaded in a second. If I refresh here with the video, you notice we're loading before it could even get the YouTube video, right? So we just friggin' load really, really fast. So of course, we have the mobile indexing and all that different stuff. You can design your page how it's going to look for mobile, right? So you could say to yourself, let me give you an example. See how this looks like this here, this font? But on mobile, I might not want this on 3 lines. So I simply go over to here and I drag this down a little bit, and now I made it look good on a mobile, but I didn't upset what it looks like here. In fact, I can move all the way up the dome tree and say, let's see how it looks on a tablet vertical. On a tablet vertical, I want that a little bit bigger. I want it like that. But look, I didn't mess up the mobile. Now, how do I want it to look on a tablet horizontal? Oh, the image now comes over here. I've got to make that actually go smaller. So I'm going to make it look like that on 2 lines. It's actually a smaller font than it is here. And then we go, how does it look like on a laptop? Well, let's take our text weight and let's go fully 2 lines right here. I might even want to center this on the laptop like that. And let's see how it looks on the desktop. Oh, okay, cool. So now I have a different look for a mobile, a vertical tablet, a horizontal tablet, a laptop, and a desktop. Folks, that's called mobile first indexing. The way that we give the priority to the mobile device, but you can up in greater than this many pixels. This is what happens. And as you can see, we've got little green buttons. Look, I know this might sound a little complex, but let me just ask this question. Put a 1 in the chat if you absolutely love the fact that it's that easy to design your website for each device. Winning people are putting there 1, 1, 1. You guys are blowing it up. Oh, let me show you something else that's cool. Check this out. Oh my goodness, how did I almost forget this? Let's go to a wireframe. I'm going to look for something here. Just bear with me if we have one. Looking. Let's see. Let me use a. Let's see if the features have it. Okay, I'm going to use a wireframe because I believe I saw one of them here. Let me look at all of them. Okay, this is the perfect example. So look at this. When you have something like this here, And what do I mean? We have in the elements, I can drag over a desktop, a Mac laptop, a tablet, vertical tablet, a phone, or an iWatch. But here's a particular one's an iPhone. I simply click here, and if I want to add an image in there, I'm just going to use the Ferrari, if you don't mind, because it was there, right? And let's just pop that in, hit select, and just like that, I've got the Ferrari on my laptop. So, man, I wish I had time to go over everything. I think I'm going to wrap this up here. But to show you that yes, you can integrate checkouts and integrate with GrooveStyle and all those different things. I'm trying to think what. If you want to put your site settings here for. Yeah, I'll finish for 30 seconds and I'm done. You want to add your favicon to your site? It's never been easier. Somebody tells you, I need you to put this on the header of every page of your website. You do it here, your body, your bottom. This is what happens when somebody, it's called your social share. If you've ever noticed when you type a URL in Skype or in iMessage or in Facebook, you can control by uploading an image and the text that you want it to show, the preview, as opposed to it saying, grabbing this headline and this image. So that's controlled here. Now, over here, this on the page, if I click here, of course, you've got clone and all that stuff. If I go here, this is where I put my SEO page title, SEO meta keywords, meta description, custom CSS for the page, the header tags like Google Analytics, Facebook code, the body code if you need to pay something that says paste this in the body or at the footer or what's known as a bottom body, etc. So I think, Mike, at this point, I'd be talking about stuff that I think people get. I do want to just mention one more thing, Mike. How does it integrate with this or that? We're constantly adding integrations. By the time we launch this thing fully to the public, you'll see integrations, Aweber, ActiveCampaign, blah, 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 blah. Another 10 are slated, and then there's going to be integrations with Kajabi and Thinkific, et cetera, et cetera. But Mike, I'm going to turn it over to you. I know you've probably seen some people say, and then I'm going to tell people how they can buy this, and then I'm going to talk about the suite of projects if they want the entire suite, and we'll talk about GrooveStyle, GrooveMail, and everything like that.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you about one aspect. So one of the things that you talked to me about, and I know this is still in the works, but where you'll be able to take a page. Let's say I have a client. You mentioned we love clients. Let's say we have a client and they're stuck on Squarespace. They love the look of their site, but we really want them on your platform, SEO and for everything else like that.
So when we go live, we are coming. Okay, so understand, guys. My partner, Matt Nouse, I know him because he wrote Kartra pages. We found him. He had a framework. We tried to buy it. He said, no, hire me for $8,000 a month. Give me a 2-year contract and I will help you develop the software. And he did. And after 2 years, he went and he created a clone to Kartra pages, which we're giving away, basically free, but it was, PageStead was a thing. And we basically, I'll explain the story. I call him and I say, hey, I'm looking to do something. Would you want to be a partner with me and my partners and do something called GroovePages, which is now GrooveFunnels. It's the entire suite. And Matt says, yeah. And then I said, we were talking and I said, oh, so you weren't with Kartra? He said, no, Mike, I left after 2 years. I said, who replaced you? He goes, oh, the guy, even better than me. His name is Finn. I said, oh, cool. Is he still working with Kartra? He says, yeah. I said, oh, all right. By sheer luck, he tells me Finn reached out to him and says his 2-year contract with Kartra ended and he was looking for any ideas. And I said, how much is he? I don't want to name the price, but this guy's expensive and worth it. We have the best developers in the world. He was even better than the first guy. So he came on to the team and the two of them were working on the framework that did Kartra pages. And they came up and they said, Mike, this is 11-year-old technology like everybody else that's out there. It's on Bootstrap. There's new things out there with mobile first indexing, new ways to publish pages. VUE.JS is a JavaScript framework. Let's lead the world here. And I said, guys, this is going to cost money. We're halfway through another framework. They said, but we don't have the pride for this. We want to do it the right way. They convinced me. I said, it's going to cost money. We did a Kickstarter. We raised $1 million. And that's why we've been able to build this beautiful platform. And, because of that, We have the world's best guys, and we built a team just as good as them, around this. And now, Mike, you were asking me about importing funnels. So I've got bad news and I've got good news. You will not be able to import any funnel from ClickFunnels or VUE.JS or your blog or WordPress or anything like that. I apologize. And I got a little smile on my face because I'm playing with you guys. We will not go into integrations and have you add ClickFunnels and then integrate your funnels. We did something better because we have basically, let me just see here if I can go through the Dome tree and get it. We have this thing here called spacing and this layout mode. And this layout mode, I'm not going to get into it right now, but it's an open source project called Flexbox, which basically builds not the elements but the layout mode, and that's this stuff here. Okay, this stuff where you want to bring in these different layers of 3 columns, 4 columns, add a column, or you want pre-made layouts here, adding, let's say, 5 blocks over here like this so that you can basically design whatever is your heart's desire. This is something called Flexbox. So Mike, to answer your question, the reason why I went on this long journey to talk about Flexbox and these incredible guys and the latest framework is the technology that we've created allows us to, you can type in any URL in the entire world, from the current homepage at CNN, the current homepage at Huffington Post, or Fox News, if I can be fair to everybody, or any current page that you have at ClickFunnels. Click preview or go to the current website. Go to Theme Forest and look at a theme and say, I like this page. Click it, it'll import it into your site. Go to VUE.JS, Wix, Squarespace, Optimized Press, the ClickFunnels marketplace, and what you're going to do is you're going to type in a URL and we will import the page. However, we will import all of the text as lorem ipsum. Everybody cool with that? Because what's on a page is copyright. The layout of a page is not copyright. The text and the images may not be royalty free. We want to protect you. Number 2, these images, they're going to come in and they're going to look like this. They're going to look something like, whoops, full, like that. And this is going to say lorem ipsum, right? We want to protect other people's intellectual property, but the layout of a site, the color of a site cannot be copyrighted. The text, the images, we don't want to get you guys in trouble. Something might not be royalty free. You may not have the right to use it. That person may have paid Getty Images. You didn't. You can get a $3,000 fine. So we're going to import the exact layout. We might have a little text box that says, I am the owner of this website. In other words, if you can show that maybe you're the owner of the website, we're going to come up with that. We may allow you to just import everything, right? Out of fairness, we want to protect people. So somebody just said, woohoo, I'm so excited. This is huge, legendary. Harris Lejona says, wow, this is huge. So yes, we don't have to worry about how does it work with VUE.JS. You'll just put a URL and click import. And because of Flexbox, we can say this is a block with this type of layout. The background is this. There's 3 things in the navigation. Now, will the countdown timer work? No, because we're not going to import their JavaScript. We're going to import their HTML and CSS. But we will know it's a countdown timer, and you'll just go in and click it. We'll be able to click where the buttons go. Or are we going to be able to import the pop-ups and those functionalities? Yes or no? Let's just say no for right now. And I think you guys are cool with that. You can just import or redo a pop-up or anything like that. But for the most part, that answers a huge question there, Mike.